Hello everyone, and welcome back to another update on the fallen stars of America. In today's video, we pay tribute to American celebrities and influential figures from around the world who have recently left us. We'll cover those who passed away today or in the last few days, along with other notable personalities whose lives have made a lasting impact.
Lisa Marie Presley was born into the heart of American legend, the daughter of Elvis and Priscilla Presley, the sole heir to Graceland, and a living link to the king of rock and roll. But her story was never just about her lineage. From the moment she entered the world, the spotlight followed her, often uninvited and always unrelenting, yet through the glare of fame and the burden of expectations, Lisa Marie fought to carve a life and legacy of her own. Her music was not an echo of her father's, but a raw, powerful outpouring of her soul, a blend of southern grit, rock rebellion, and lyrical vulnerability that told the story of a woman who had seen beauty, tragedy, and the full weight of legacy. With every album, every song, she opened a door to her inner world, one marked by struggle, heartbreak, and resilience. She lived through the loss of loved ones, the pressures of public life, and the unimaginable pain of losing her son, yet she continued to speak her truth, to love deeply, and to show up, bruised, but never broken. Lisa Marie was a devoted mother, a passionate artist, and a woman who carried the history of American music in her blood while forging her own voice through pain and perseverance. Her life was not perfect, but it was profoundly human, filled with complexity, depth, and the kind of honesty that made people feel less alone. In her passing, we say goodbye not only to the daughter of a legend but to a soul who lived with fierce emotion, quiet courage, and an unyielding desire to be seen for who she truly was. Her story doesn't end with her name, it lives on in her music, in her children, and in every heart she touched with her truth. Raquel Welch wasn't just a Hollywood icon, she was a revolutionary presence who reshaped the image of the modern woman on screen with power, grace, and unapologetic confidence. Rising to global fame in the 1960s, she became a symbol of strength wrapped in glamour, most famously in 1 Million Years B.C., where a single still image in a deerskin bikini rocketed her into legend. But to reduce her to that moment would be to overlook the remarkable woman behind the image, a fiercely intelligent actress, a trailblazing Latina in an industry that often ignored diversity, and a force who refused to be silenced or sidelined. She navigated Hollywood's shallow expectations with sharp wit and strategic choices, turning what others saw as a limitation, her beauty, into a platform for power. Throughout a career that spanned decades, Raquel brought charisma and fire to each role, proving that sex appeal and substance were not mutually exclusive. Off the screen, she was a devoted mother, a successful businesswoman, and a voice for self-empowerment who inspired generations of women to define themselves on their own terms. She defied the mold of the passive starlet and instead became a commanding presence, both admired and respected, not only for her looks but for her strength, poise, and authenticity. Her passing marks the end of a chapter in cinematic history, but her legacy lives on in every woman who's ever refused to be underestimated, every actress who's ever dared to demand more, and every person who believes that beauty is even more powerful when it's matched by spirit and strength. Raquel Welch was not just a screen legend, she was a cultural force, and her impact will echo for generations. Harry Belafonte was not just an entertainer, he was a revolution in human form, a towering figure whose voice echoed far beyond music halls and into the very heart of justice, freedom, and change. Rising from humble beginnings in Harlem to global stardom, Belafonte introduced the world to the vibrant rhythms of the Caribbean through his iconic calypso sound, captivating audiences with hits like Deo, the Banana Boat song, and becoming the first solo artist to sell over 1 million LPs. But he didn't stop at breaking musical records, he broke boundaries, tore down walls, and challenged a system that sought to silence the very people he represented. At a time when it was dangerous to speak out, Harry used his fame not for vanity, but for valor, becoming a tireless advocate for civil rights and one of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s closest allies. He marched, funded, organized, and confronted power, not with violence, but with unwavering moral clarity. Whether it was standing on the front lines of the civil rights movement, championing anti-apartheid efforts in South Africa, or serving as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, his life was a masterclass in courage, compassion, and conscious living. Belafonte's artistry and activism were inseparable. His music gave him a microphone, and he used it to speak out for the voiceless, the oppressed, and the forgotten. He challenged Hollywood's racism, refused to be typecast, and helped pave the way for generations of black performers and activists. In an age of fleeting fame, he stood for something timeless: dignity, purpose, and truth. With his passing, the world doesn't just lose a brilliant artist, it loses a rare soul who carried both melody and mission with equal grace. His legacy isn't just in records sold or awards won, but in lives changed, minds awakened, and a world nudged closer to justice because Harry Belafonte dared to sing and fight with everything he had.